Hello guys, today I'll explain AME's decision making when he plays Juggernaut. Let's dive into it. Call me Iru. Juggernaut in this game was the last pick. It's most likely it's position 3 co-op. There are 2 stuns through BKB, so he won't be able to BKB TPL. Therefore he cannot split push as effectively. But the core matchup is good since if Nike spends his infest somehow, he will become an easy target for the Omni Slash. Game starts with AME running to the lane. He wants to cut as many trees as he can. By cutting the trees he makes it easier for Mirana to hit Tusk. Without trees it's very hard for Tusk to find an angle on Juggernaut or Mirana, making him completely useless during the laning stage. Tusk is trying to block the wave, so the first wave of Dire is going to be under the tower, which would give Dire better creep equilibrium. AME tries to stop the wave from going too far into the tower range by blocking the creeps. Notice that he lets Coop pull the creeps while he stays away from the wave, and because he did so, now his wave is not going to be attacked by the tower. AME understands that he won't be able to spin Coop down with Blade Fury, so he takes the healing ward to sustain himself through the laning stage. AME tries to take the lane control back by pulling the melee creeps onto his range creep. Note how easy it is for Mirana to lane here, since she can always see Tusk and either hit him or run back. This will most likely work against most of the melee heroes on position 4. Tusk come close and now he's a threat, but because Juggernaut got level 2 he is not so scared about it. He puts down a ward and look how he positions it. The only way for Coop to get this ward is if she blinks into it, and if she blinks, Juggernaut can spin her down. He starts building phase boots from the claw, so he can get extra attack to have more last hits. Notice how AME reaggroes the creeps here. That creep now is a hostage, and because he did that, he can hit Coop a couple of times before she blinks out. Note how he places the ward and tries to mirror the movement of Queen of Pain. It's always on the opposite side. Mirana tries to contest the Lotus. While Mirana stays in the pool, he tries to deal as much damage as he can to Coop. And even after Mirana's death, he tries to deal as much damage as possible to enemy heroes. He hits Tusk since Coop cannot help him because she is low HP, and if she tries to stay, she can easily die. That is also the reason why he can stay so close to the enemy creeps without being punished. Look at how he runs towards Coop here, and because he runs there, Coop has to go back and has to suffer extra hits from Mirana. He's going to place healing wards so Mirana can be full HP again and keep trading with the enemies. Because she's full HP, she can easily trade with enemy Coop, and even zone her out from the creeps. In the end, it forces Coop to drink salve and even go back to base. AME will only put 1 point into Blade Fury. Since enemies have 2 stuns through BKB, there is very little use he can find for it, and during the laning stage he cannot utilize it to get kills. As soon as Tiny TP, he tries to bait Coop closer to the tower so Tiny has a better angle. He even tries to fight her, so she gets baited in. He also tries to give her idea that she can kill him. AME is not afraid, he has Fairy Fire and Lotus, so he tries to bait the enemies for as much as he can. Coop can barely get away, but they get the task in the end. Because Kun can stay solo top, they keep trying bottom. Now they once again find an angle on Coop, but she barely gets away once again. AME had the Omni Slash, but he thought he can finish her anyways. Mirana managed to finish her using 2 leaps. As soon as AME gets Cornucopia, he starts maximizing his farm by pushing out the wave and immediately going to the big camp after that. Since the wave is so pushed, he farms the camps nearby. He knows that Tusk is missing and he doesn't want to come to the lane until he sees him somewhere. Now he knows that Tusk is bottom. He also knows that there were more heroes showing at the triangle, so he doesn't risk showing at the tower. As he sees Ember mid, he can come back to bottom. He places the ward just in case. He also micros his healing ward. Tusk just showed top. Now he can farm jungle camps nearby without being in danger. There is a fight top, but AME knows that it would take too much time to get there. Instead he pushes out the wave to create pressure on the enemy tower. He meets Coop, but he cannot kill her, so he switches back to the creeps. And as he sees that enemies are coming bottom, he doesn't risk coming close to the tower, and instead farms the jungle. Because he focused on farm, now he has a battle fury on minute 13. And he keeps farming the jungle until he sees that Ember is coming back to mid. And now he starts farming towards the ancient camp. As he sees that Warlock is top, the hero that can break his TP, he is now able to show on the wave without being killed. Ember is also showing mid, so there is maximum 2 heroes here, and he understands that Coop plus Tusk cannot kill him. Ember is dead, and there is less threat to come and farm this camp. This is very important because if Coop keeps pulling this camp, AME will not see any creeps coming his way. And meanwhile, he also connects to his teammates. They try to catch the Coop, but because Collapse is this good, he can easily deflect Omni Slash towards the creep wave. As soon as AME sees that it failed, he goes back to farming. AME knows that there is a lot of heroes on this part of the map. He chooses to mirror them and TP top. This is an area with less threat. He farms around sites that he can see. He also doesn't come too far out because he doesn't see Tusk or Warlock. He looks that Tusk is playing around mid, and because of that he can be more cocky here in this area. As soon as Coop leaves, he is now free to outpush the wave. Coop comes back. He also goes back to the safe area. He tries to snipe Warlock with his ulti, but because he has cooldown, he doesn't have time to actually kill him. Since Warlock is running away, doesn't devour the sentry, it gives him info that there is some ward here. So he runs back to the triangle and farms. He saw a couple of heroes in this area and he doesn't want to show on the lane. Instead, he prefers to farm the jungle and let Tiny get the wave. This way he is not only maximizing the farm of the team, he is also being safe from danger. He keeps looking around and he sees that there is a fight breaking out at mid. He sees that enemies are crossing the line of no return. He anticipates that this is going to be a good fight, so he TPs and tries to help his team. Opponents decided to sell their supports, and in the end he didn't have to be here, but in case the fight would break out, he is already here, in good position and is ready to fight. After that his team is smoking towards top, and AME is mirroring their movement by showing at the wave. Without his teammates it can be dangerous, but because his team is so close, it makes a very good bait, and because he lured enemy to show themselves, it makes an easy double kill. Now they want to keep controlling this area and he isn't so afraid to show on waves. But because it's Team Spirit he plays against, they surprise AME and even manage to kill him. His teammates are going to be baited soon after. Despite the fight being lost, AME still looks at it to see which spells were used, and also to see where enemies might strafe afterwards. He knows that enemy want Tormentor, so he runs towards bottom. He knows that the next big fight is going to be around Roach. He tries to push out the wave so enemies can show at bottom tower, giving them more info about enemy heroes. As soon as they see that enemy team is grouping up towards bottom, they decide to smoke. And AME's role in this is to outpush the wave in order to not make it sus. They're trying to find some kills, and to do that, they're running towards the triangle. As soon as they don't find anything, they switch to Roach. But then this happens. Because AME was stunned, he couldn't take the Aegis, and Ember Spirit takes it. The best they can do is to get some trade kills, and as soon as they waste all of their spells, they have to go back. So Extreme Gaming tries to leave the fight with as little damage as possible. Now he has time to outpush this wave. This is what we call damage control. By pushing out waves, you delay the time until enemy can reach your towers. By the time enemy reach your towers, your teammates are already up. AME farms here for as long as possible until he sees that fight is happening at the bottom. He switches back and forth between his perspective and the fight perspective. But he does not want to TP right now. He wants to farm for as long as possible. If he TPs now, his team will be closed out on the map, and it's not a clear cut if he would win this fight bottom. So instead, he tries to get to his item as fast as he can. If there is some action happening on the map, he is going to switch his camera to see it, and then evaluate if he needs to TP. And he is going to outpush mid wave, so his team can do whatever they want at the bottom area, without the need to TP and take care of this wave. As AME sees that his team is coming towards top, he also starts pushing this wave, by showing he once again is trying to bait enemy team into going on him. But since they don't find anything, he just keeps farming his MKB. MKB is good in this game because lifesteal has evasion. AME already has Aghanims to gap close, already has Manta style to dispel himself, and all he is missing is just more damage. His team is playing in more dangerous area and he thinks that Team Spirit is playing bottom, so he doesn't expect them to come here. But because his teammates reacted in time, he is not going to die. AME will now try to mirror the enemy and outpush as many waves as he can by going bottom and mid area. He also sends illusion bottom to outpush one more wave. This creates illusion that he is still playing bottom. Since they're in smoke, Kunkka is going to push the wave now. Team Spirit is playing top area, they will not find anyone here. AME tries to push the tower to poke some TPs. Meanwhile, his teammates are ready, and because of this, they can catch this Ember Spirit. Since Ember is dead, they can easily take this tower and run back without any fight. Meanwhile, AME still tries to scale and come closer to his Monkey King bar timing. Tusk just showed bottom, but he thinks that rest of Team Spirit is also bottom, and he gets surprised by this. AME holds Blade Fury until chains are used, and it's very important to put out this ward so he can keep healing himself. Spirit didn't manage to kill him, and now he can Omni Slash and turn the tables. After the Omni Slash he tries to stay around the boats, so he doesn't randomly die to the squab. And because he did, Ghost Ship buff saves him. After the fight, they decide to take the Tormentor. AME could potentially take the top tower, but because he is so low HP, he wouldn't have time to do this. And Tormentor is the choice without the risk. Next big objective is Roach, so they try to outpush as many waves as they can. They also try to catch enemy heroes, but they manage to get away. It is very important to outpush this wave to create more visibility that they are still around this area. And now it's a smoke time. At this point they're paying attention to the smoke buff, and as soon as it reveals, they're trying to jump. But they don't expect this lifestealer to be in Ancient Creep. And because they got revealed, now they have to go back and regroup. Look at how they're trying to lure the enemy closer to their fighting area. They are choosing not to give Team Spirit fight on their terms, and instead they create their own terms. Your creeps give vision, so you want to outpush waves. Here Shinkyu tries to catch Quo but fails. Collapse tries to initiate, but Kunkka silences him. Because of this commit, Extreme Gaming now has a very good fighting area. Because AME stands his ground, SF can ulti easily. As the fight continues now, he can force Nikes into the infest. AME here is being very patient with his Manta and Blade Fury. It is important to not use your spells without reason, and here he dispelled the Fatal Bones, so he doesn't die from collateral damage. Now the only thing to do is to kill the rest of the team. And after this fight, AME will not even die once in this game. As soon as he gets Butterfly, it's impossible to kill him, and essentially game is over, they just have to finish it. So he keeps pushing the towers. Here he used Aghanim Slash to bait some spells out. He cannot Omni Slash because of Snowball, so they just go back and reset until Healing Ward is off cooldown. Once they have it, they can push again. Since Team Spirit is trying to ignore this fight, AME is trying to take more from them. Tiny tosses Lifestealer into him and he tries to bait the infest by going Swift Slash. It is very hard to fight on the enemy high ground, so they try to lure them down. They also manage to kite the Lifestealer's rage. And with the help of Tiny Toss, Jagger gets tossed into two supports and instantly kills them. Here AME decides to not chase the enemy heroes and just turns back and starts hitting buildings. He sends them the healing ward though. Notice that he keeps paying attention to the fight in case something changes. But instead his team gets kited and he just finishes the rocks and does BKB because enemy supports are dead. So there is no hero to interrupt his TP. Team Spirit cannot kill AME, so they are just trying to outpush the wave until Lifestealer comes back. But AME is also waiting for his teammates, so the rest of the age is just going to run out. He wants to maximize his farm so he can get his Swift Blink before the next fight. AME spots Snags top and Warlock bottom, as well as couple of seconds later he also spots Quap at the bottom lane and Tusk at the top lane. Now Extreme Gaming is going to wait for everyone, and then their plan should be to find Team Spirit. They wanna do it even without the Aegis, because they think they're so strong that they can win any fight. Before they can smoke though, they want to outpush every wave, so it's not so obvious that they're smoked. The best way for you to find your opponents is to push out waves and then wait for opponents to outpush them. That's what they're doing here. SF shows here, so it's not an obvious smoke. And they also drop the ward on their way towards the top area. This way, even if you don't find any enemy on your way, you will at least have vision, and if enemy shows there, you can easily go and punish them from leaving the base. Now since they don't find anything top and the last tier 2 tower is already dead, they're trying to smoke towards the bottom area where they potentially can find some kills. Simultaneously they're trying to grab the wisdom, because they showed at the top area a while ago. Team Spirit don't think there is enemies in the triangle, so Ember jumps and he is getting punished for this. Now they want to capitalize on Ember's death, so they're trying to push the last side. Their goal here is more to find a better fight rather than take the racks, but if they can take the racks without any fight, that's also good enough. AME jumps on the high ground, so the enemies are going to aggro on him. It also reveals supports, and support kills are very important. As Tiny tosses the Warlock, AME just needs to ulti and kill all of them. Since Tusk is dead and Lifesteal spent his infest, AME can just 100 to 0 him with Omni Slash. Warlock and Pop is such a nasty combo. Even though the rest of their team is dead, they're still dealing so much damage. Also because of the Quap buyback, they're going to lose 3 heroes. They're trying to punish the Scope for doing this, but they don't have enough damage. And AME is just going to take the racks, and then wait out until his teammates are going to be up again. They don't want to spend their buybacks for anything. In the late game, your buyback is the most valuable thing you can have. Reason for this is quite simple. If you trade for the enemy hero and then you buyback, and if for whatever reason they don't have the buyback, then you can easily end the game right there. AME sees that opponents are trying to group up for the smoke. Before that, they even outpush the waves. And the most logical thing you can do during this time is to wait it out, because your mega creeps are going to do their job. Since there is no heroes showing at the top and bottom wave, they think that there is a smoke going on. And they're right. Best position to wait out enemy smoke is the high ground, but they decide that Kunkka is fat enough to tank the smoke. And because Kunkka gave position to AME, AME can now ulti and kill the squad. Now AME can ulti the enemy lifestealer, because Tusk lane got broken by the SF ult, and he even gets extra. And it's GG. Thank you for watching, please tell me in the comment how do you like this format, and of course which games to do next. I'll see you next time. Bye.